Originals can be nice, but there's always room for improvement.
Tell that to the Covenant.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for another top 10 video game sequels. For this list, we'll be strictly focusing on second entries of video game franchises directly related to the first.
Master Chief, defend this station.
Yes, sir. I need a weapon.
Reboots already have their own list, and threequels and prequels are on another list for another day. So, if there's something you didn't see on this list, it's either on our first list of the top 10 video game sequels, or we felt that the original was better.
Gotcha!
Number 10, Team Fortress 2. With its predecessor starting out as a mod for Quake, this title has come quite a long way in building its audience. Team Fortress 2 was initially released as part of the video game compilation Orange Box, but has stayed relevant as a standalone, free-to-play title.
Basically, kind of a big deal.
The game, like the first, is a multiplayer first-person shooter that presents the player 9 classes and a variety of game modes. The game is notorious for its comical art style and humor, and has spiked in popularity after it became free-to-play on the Steam network.
Oh man, you would not believe how much this hurts.
Number 9, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. This Super Nintendo title put the previous game's sidekick in the front seat, as he teams up with his trusted partner, Dixie Kong, to save Donkey Kong from the villainous King K. Rool, who is now Captain K. Rool. Players are soon immersed in the addictive platformer to save the franchise's main protagonist. Although it plays quite similarly to the first one, Country 2's pirate theme produced beautiful art direction and a haunting soundtrack by David Wise, creating the perfect atmosphere for an epic adventure. Number 8, System Shock 2.
Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone.
A conversation of the best PC games of all time wouldn't be valid without the inclusion of this influential title.
See the crate in front of you? To search it, center it on your screen and right-click.
Often described as being ahead of its time, System Shock 2 meshed RPG gameplay with the first-person perspective for a level of depth and immersion that was hard to beat.
The OSA welcomes you to Orbital Station Chunlo. Ready yourself to feel the limitations of your mind slipping away.
Mechanics aside, the atmosphere that oozed from every facet made this slow-burning RPG into one of the scariest games ever made.
What's the matter, lover? Don't you like my new look?
Number 7, Resident Evil 2. Hot on the heels of gaming's premier survival horror experience came its sequel, taking place approximately 2 months after the first entry. We are quickly introduced to the game's main protagonists, Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield, both playable characters with their own unique storylines and endings.
Don't have any time to waste.
Go? Where?
Hey, it's up to us to take out Umbrella.
Series staples like limited ammo, puzzles, and tight spaces were all improved with higher production value and much better voice acting, making Resident Evil 2 into the high point of the series for years to come. Number 6, Mega Man 2. While the original may have started the legacy, Mega Man 2 is the game that made the Blue Bomber into a household name. In this game, the evil Dr. Wily creates an army of his own robot masters to defeat Mega Man. The game adopts the same formula as the first, having the player fight an assortment of bosses in their respective levels and then inheriting their powers once they're defeated. Because some bosses were weaker against the powers of others, the order in which you tackled each of the sections became as crucial to your success as your skill with the Mega Buster. Number 5, Pokemon Gold and Silver. A worthy follow-up to the phenomenon that was Pokemon back in the 90s. When hardcore fans were done catching them all in the first generation of the game, they were quickly introduced to the 100 new Pokemon species in the Johto region. Players were once again prompted to pick a starter Pokemon to then embark on an epic quest in becoming a Pokemon Master. Of course, you were free to revisit the Kanto region from the first game, and beat all of those gym leaders too, meaning that this game could soak up days worth of your time. Number 4, Uncharted 2: Among Thieves.
What's going on?
Naughty Dog's flagship treasure hunter returns for yet another action-packed adventure, one that tops his first outing in every way.
You don't always have to play the bloody hero, you know?
Starting 2 years after the first game, Nathan, joined by newcomer Chloe Fraser, travels across the world to retrieve the Sintamani Stone, a magical artifact said to grant wishes.
They called it the wish-fulfilling jewel. It's a sacred object.
The cinematic franchise makes an effort to not be as limited in its environments as the first, as players will traverse jungles, snowy tundra, and concrete urban areas, running, gunning, and scrambling for their lives all the way.
And what could possibly go wrong?
Number 3, Assassin's Creed 2. Although the first game in the series under-delivered when compared to the hype, players finally got what they were promised with the second game. Once again, using the Animus to relive the genetic memories of his ancestors, protagonist Desmond steps into the shoes of Ezio Auditore di Firenze to avenge the murder of his family.
You are the traitor, Roberto, and one of them. You may take our lives this day, but we will have yours in return, I swear! We will! Father!
Taking place in Italy during the Renaissance, the environments are both dynamic and scenic, resulting in a sandbox that felt like an interactive history lesson as well as an amusing playground. Although many a sequel has come and gone, none have managed to dethrone this masterwork.
As for your mother, once I've dealt with you, I promise I'll give her my full attention.
Number 2, Batman: Arkham City.
You!
Get out of my way, Quinn.
Leave us alone, B-Man!
This title didn't only redefine the art of superhero video game adaptations, but made it fun to be the Dark Knight again. Taking everything that made Asylum a hit and setting it all loose in an open world was almost too good to be true. Incredibly fluid combat mechanics, an endless arsenal of gadgets, and a massive amount of respect for the source material are only a few of the reasons why this game is in a league of its own.
This place is dangerous. I like it. You expecting a kiss?
It was Joker. You're not safe here. No one is.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1, Portal 2.
Oh, it's you.
You know her?
It's been a long time.
While the original was groundbreaking and innovative in its own right, the sequel took the amazing concept and ran with it. More revolutionary mechanics, more mind-bending puzzles, and more hilarious writing.
Congratulations. Not on the test. Most people emerge from suspension terribly undernourished. I want to congratulate you on beating the odds and somehow managing to pack on a few pounds.
Portal 2 eclipsed the original on every front. And if all that wasn't enough, there was a fully realized co-op mode for you and a buddy to sink your teeth into.
Oh, I almost forgot. When you go outside the testing courses, the only way I can retrieve you is to violently disassemble you, then carefully reassemble you.
Players expected a challenge, but they didn't expect to walk away with one of the most memorable experiences the world of video games had to offer.
But I think we can put our differences behind us. For science, you monster.
Do you agree with our list?
I don't even know where to start with you.
What video game sequel do you think did it best?
Lena Fisher. Last year's model.
For more awesome top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
The end.